Dave and Karen Schwartzkopf Lifetime Achievement Award.
Hi, this is Kevin Corder. Karen is my sister. She's been my sister all my life. I also had two older brothers, but for some reason, I gravitated more towards following in her footsteps. Probably because she seemed so much smarter. Because I came along so late in our family, I like to think I was an only child, but with brothers and sisters. As such, I realized I was spoiled, and Karen was a full participant in the spoilage, which is when I started to learn how special she is. One of the footsteps I followed lead to college. Much to the chagrin of my high school counselors, my college search ended the day Karen went to Midwestern School of Evangelism, many years before I even went to high school. When Karen graduated from college, she moved to Indiana to get a job. It was there she met some guy named Dave, and they seemed to hit it off. At the beginning, I didn't know much about Dave because he didn't say much. But he grew on our family, and most of all on Karen, who married him. We learned he was really smart, with deeply held beliefs that he could back up, but he wasn't exactly a social butterfly. Not too long after they were married, they moved to a small town in Indiana where Dave pastored a church. After a time, they went a slightly different direction, becoming house parents at the Indiana Christian Children's Home in Madoga, Indiana. They supervised a family house setting with around, if my memory is correct, 10 or so kids of varying ages, who were there because of some kind of hard times they were facing, such as family problems or abuse. After serving there, they moved to Indianapolis, where Dave went to work for an industrial pump manufacturer, and they started their own family, first with Wade, then with Mark. Not too many years later, I followed my sister's footsteps, literally, by moving in with them after graduating from MSc myself. Dave had a strong interest in technology, and largely self-taught himself engineering, electronics, and computing at a very high level. That knowledge eventually led him to lead the electronics research and development team at one of the largest sawmill manufacturers in the world. The company was owned and managed by Don Laskowski, a Christian, and the profits from products, as well as the products themselves, were used by missionaries all around the world. While their boys were growing up, Karen and Dave made the decision to homeschool them, the first time I had ever heard of the concept. It was a full-time job for Karen, and Dave's focus on technology was a big part as well. They were successful. Both boys were accepted into Rose-Hulman University, one of the top engineering schools in the US, and Wade went on to earn his PhD from the University of Texas. It opened the doors for another opportunity for Karen as well. Don Laskowski also had a passion for Christian-based education and started Covenant Christian High School in the basement of Chapel Rock Christian Church in Indianapolis in 1995, choosing Karen to be one of the school's first two employees. In only about 2 years, they built an $8 million state-of-the-art facility, and Karen worked as a key part in administration for about 15 years. Covenant is still going strong today with 350 students. While Dave may not have been a social butterfly when I first met him, apparently he was a caterpillar of some kind, because he certainly had a metamorphosis. One of the most active people I know on social media. Many of you keep up with what is going on in the Brotherhood through his Facebook posts and other communications, which include thoughtful memories and tributes of those who have left us. He and Karen share many of their travels and events through Dave's photographs, and I frequently read comments about how much those are appreciated by those that can't be there. Family is not forgotten in all the work they do for the kingdom. When our mother needed to be moved to a care home, Karen shifted into high gear. Karen and Dave are very humble people, and even in a family setting, don't talk about some of the work they do behind the scenes. I'll leave that for others to talk about. For those who know Karen and Dave or have spent time with them, know that no synopsis of their biographies or professional lives can convey or summarize their many close friendships, servanthood, and commitment to Christ. I personally am grateful for their influence in my life and know there are many of you who would agree.
Dave was the perfect child. When I was growing up, it seemed that whatever Dave did, he did well, and I wanted to be like him. As we got older, and Dave left home, I hoped that he would get married so I would have a sister. God blessed and led him to choose Karen for his wife, and she was the perfect one for Dave and our family. I, along with my husband Doug and family, always look forward to their visits. We have been blessed to enjoy many activities with them, like seeing the sights of Indiana, going on trips, trying new restaurants, and much more. They are a couple that we admire and have many fond memories of our times together. Tina.
Dave and Karen know no strangers, and once you meet them, you're considered their friend. I grew up knowing who they were, and they were always a great example to all of us. But it took on a new meaning for me when our youngest daughter got married, and who showed up? Dave and Karen. They had never met them before, but because of our family's connection, they came all the way to Bowling Green, Kentucky to be there. And they will never know how much it not only meant to Don and I, but also to Russ and Shayla. They showed their genuine love for people and events that matter in their lives, which is part of who they are. You see them on Facebook because they are busy traveling somewhere to attend something to let others know that they care, and we get to join their journey. When I say no one is a stranger, I have a wonderful story to tell. Dave and Karen were on a cruise when they happened to run into a young lady wearing an Iowa t-shirt. And since no one is a stranger, they asked her if she was from Iowa. She told them no, that she was from Florida, but she knew people in Ottumwa. Needless to say, they were all shocked when they realized that not only was this young lady related to the Paynes, but that she was Donna Merriam Spencer's granddaughter, and Karen babysat this young lady's mother when she was here in Bible college. And now they are friends on Facebook. And they met up again when they were down in Orlando visiting, going to another event to be an encouragement to someone else. When Dave got COVID, I think the whole world was praying for him and Karen. I remember crying and pleading the verse that says that those that honor their father and mother would have a long life. I pleaded with God to bless Dave and Karen because of their lives and examples and how they honored their parents. God heard all our prayers, and we are all so grateful for that as they continue to pour into others' lives and are encouragement to so many. We love you, Dave and Karen. Please keep doing what you're doing, attending important events in others' lives and taking pictures along the way and sharing it with all of us. Teresa Scott.
Both Dave and Karen are in my memories from way back to being kids at various camps, rallies, and other church events in Iowa. After moving to California in the mid-60s, I lost touch with them, so the memories are few and far between until I moved to Jefferson City, Missouri in 2007. Once again, church activities and unfortunately too many funerals brought us back into contact as adults. Even though we now grumble about Facebook, the beauty of it was the ability to connect with long-ago friends from widespread locations and to share in their adventures. One of my very favorite connections has been with Dave and Karen, as we quickly realized we share a love of photography and, while my husband was still alive, a love of travel. We used to compare how many miles we had traveled and the places we had been to. Dave's ministry of capturing people, events, and places through the lens of his camera and sharing it with us all will be a lasting memorial for those who come after us if the Lord tarries. And we all love the sweet fellowship of the most photographed woman we know. Above all, we praise and thank our Lord and Savior for sparing Dave's life through his horrific battle with COVID, and that they are once again back on the road bringing love and joy to those who are blessed by their visits and lovely photography to our lives. God is so good, and we thank Him for the lives of these two faithful servants.
Dave is a modern-day Charles Kirol, always on the road, seeking out new things and places. We always enjoy his photography of the many different places he has been. Although he tries to deny it, he is a social animal. He has a brilliant mind and a love for our restoration movement. Karen is misnamed. She is anything but what is now known as a Karen, and from what I understand, she is an excellent chauffeur.
I remember the little boy whose family worshipped at the 7th and Q Street Church of Christ where my family attended. His parents, all in Elsie, became Christians there in Gearing. When Dave was about in the 4th grade, his parents whisked him away to Iowa, where his dad attended MSC to become a preacher. I did not see him again until many years later when they were traveling through our area in eastern Missouri, coming home from visiting family in Butler. Dave and Karen stopped to attend Harvester Christian, where we were attending at the time. Dave saw Gary's name listed as an elder in the bulletin, so they looked us up. We have since enjoyed many lovely times with the Schwartzkopfs as they buzz through our area in eastern Missouri. We usually meet for lunch, as long as it isn't around Gary's birthday time. Dave discovered once that Gary dislikes being sung to in restaurants. I met Karen Corder my first year at MSC in 1965. Yes, we're that old. She was a big sis on the third floor of a girls' dormitory. We have since renewed a lovely friendship, and I admire her steadfastness through the years and her example of a Christian helpmate for Dave.
I have had the joy of knowing Karen for many years. We were together at MSE in the 1960s. I've appreciated her Christian life and desire to live for Christ. So happy she met David and settling into life with 2 sons. They were the ones that put together the first reunion that Stuart and I were able to attend. They did a terrific job in every little detail, plus David taking and sharing so many photos of the reunion. Everyone loves it when they travel because David the photographer takes us on their trip with all his photos. Many don't have the opportunity to travel or are in bad health and can't, but it brings them joy when David shows his photos and narrates them on Facebook.
David and Karen sit with us at church every Sunday. When David had COVID, Jack and I prayed for him every day. Jack told me he has never prayed that much in his life, and he was so happy David survived. God is so good. I talked to Karen nearly every day he was sick. We have become very dear friends. They are always ready to help us in any way they can. My husband went to be with the Lord March 21st. Karen and David check on me often. Love them so much. I know to always wear makeup and dress nice when David is around. You will get your picture taken.
I think it was at an ICOM that Dave and Karen said if I ever needed a place to stay when I was in the Indianapolis area to let them know. My brother Gary had been Dave's roommate in school in Gearing, so that made us instant family. Little did they know what they were getting themselves into, and little did I know either. But not too long after, I was coming to Indianapolis and needed a place to stay in. Dave and Karen were more than happy to accommodate me. I can't even count or remember all the little day trips we did. Although Dave probably has them all documented with pictures, but I do know that I always looked forward to going somewhere with them. No matter the season, there was always somewhere to go. When you travel with Dave and Karen, you never eat in a chain restaurant except Cracker Barrel and Steak and Shake.
When Dale and I decided to marry, Dave and Karen drove to Rochester to attend our wedding. I think Dave and Karen said if Dale is good enough for Bev, then he is good enough for us. We have had some great adventures together, and because of our mutual love for Southern gospel music, we have been to Branson twice. It isn't bad sharing a 2-bedroom and to bath condo if there is ice cream. So, Dave and Karen, where is our next adventure?